Well, I haven't made a video in a long time. Been really slacking off on that. But I've been working a lot, so today, Sunday, was it March 7th or something like that? Playing with the Jeep. Give you a quick little walk around, a couple of things I've done. Put a spring on the CB antenna. That way if I smack a tree or something when I'm out playing, it won't rip the bracket off. I have to put an antenna ball or something on it. I've already taken the paint off right there when I did my flex test. One other thing I did up on the front here. Trimmed that fender off. Took the end cap off on the bumper too. It's not the correct lift. I've got a jack under it right now working on the clutch. So I get the trim pieces put back around the headlights and get that fender put back on. Fender's sitting right up there. That's the headliner out of the 84. Right there. Cop car's still not running. Electrical problems with that. Killed the battery. Oh yeah, see if it shows up here. Cheesy little 8-ball knob for the shifter. So, a couple of little things. I did get the old bleeder valve off. There's the kink on the end. When I thought I was unscrewing it, it was just twisting the line. Wound up just having to cut it. I couldn't get my tube cutter in there. Not quite enough room, so now I gotta figure out how to open that line back up. Let's go underneath and take a look. Oh yeah, new creeper. Decided to get something to save my back because I'm crawling underneath this thing all the time. So, here's where the bleed valve was. Gotta get that line opened up. Got a good bleeder off the old concentric bearing. Tire shot. Of course, where I put it is a whole other question. That was a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Tell you what, I'll turn the camera off and look around for that real quick. Be back in a few. Okay, I'm back. There's the good valve. The end pops free like it's supposed to. Can't do it freehand, I need a wrench. Got some new brass unions. Piece of extension if I need it. Got a coupling there. Thinking though I should be able to just put one of these couplings on the end of the old line under the Jeep. Flare the end of that. I got a double flaring tool kit from Harbor Freight. Can't open it one-handed either. There we go. Fix the zoom here for you since I hit the button. Got all the goodies for it. See how that works. Never done it before. Instructions, always handy. So, we'll crawl into there, clean that up. I got to open that end up first. Don't quite know how I'm going to do that, but we'll see what happens. So, got everything put back together. Been bleeding the clutch. Everything's going pretty good. Every time I do it, I get more air out. I have the hose hooked up with the bleeder end right now, but there's my new bleeder. Not new, but actually it's an old one. Teflon tape on the threads for the nuts. Also redid that coupling. It was leaking still a little bit. Doesn't show any signs of leaking now. Also Teflon tape on those threads. So I put a new flare up on the bleeder valve. New nut on the end. Threaded it all together. Torqued her down good. So far, it's pretty good. I don't see any leaks. And like I mentioned, I'm getting a real good clutch pedal. A lot better than I've ever had since I've owned this thing in the last couple months. Jump inside here if I can do this without tearing everything off. It's a pain trying to carry a camera and walk around. See if we can do this. So that's where the clutch pedal actually starts to resist, which before it was way down here. So I had that much play in it before. And it's nice and firm. Of course, I'm using my right foot. That's not a clutching foot, so it feels harder than it actually is. Yeah, that feels real good actually. Always had good brakes. I have to bleed those too sometime before I put it on the road, I think, just to be safe. That feels real good. Doesn't seem to be bleeding off at all. But we're going to bleed it a few more times so we can get some more air out of it. And then I don't know what I'll do next. I need to get a battery for this thing so I can fire it and at least take it for a little test drive. But I gotta hit up a junkyard for one of those. Like I mentioned earlier, the battery I was using was out of the Ford. Well, if it's electrical problems, I've fried that battery. And it's a top post. The Jeep is a top post, and my two Chevys are side posts, so I can't use any one of those. Oh well. Check the fluid level here. If I can open it. This thing gets a little suction on it. It's pretty difficult. I've not mastered the art of the one-handed tool operation / camera. Have to work on that. I guess that's all part of the YouTube experience. So actually that level looks pretty good still. You can see it in there. Looks a little dark, but that's brand new fresh fluid. The system was completely drained when I took the valve off. So we'll bleed it a few more times and I think we're going to call it a night. It's raining pretty good. Chance of snow tonight in some of the lower elevations. It's 50, actually I'm going to call that about 46 right now. But we're getting closer. Get this thing bled off tonight. Check it tomorrow, see if it's holding pressure. Get a battery for it. At least pull it out in the driveway and wash it maybe. I did air up all the tires tonight. They're all at about 20-25 psi. They're up to 40. Recommended to be 50. But it's not that heavy of a rig, so we'll see how that does. I don't want to have too much air on them if I do go playing in the dirt with them. But it doesn't need a bath. But we're getting closer. Like I said, need a battery, need a muffler. Probably going to do a cheap turbo muffler from the parts store. 30 bucks or so. That'll get me back on the road. Should be fun. Of course, with all the overtime I'm working right now, I don't know if this will be a good year for playing. Only time will tell. So, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.